I'm going to show you how to make a hand-drawn 2-layer GIF. It is fun, it's easy, and I'm going to take you through it step by step. If you have never done even a 1-layer GIF and you want to watch the video on that, I will put a link for that in the description. But for this one, we're gonna make a 2-layer GIF, and the first thing you gotta do is start with a drawing. I've got all the pieces and parts separated and traced in Sharpie. Now I'm gonna scan it with either my Notes app or Adobe Scan on my phone. It will save as a PDF and I'll send it to myself and then I can get started. So if you would like, I can put a link to my drawing in the description for free, and then you can practice with my alien before you get started with your own drawing. So once you've scanned it and sent it to yourself, it's on your computer and you're ready to get started. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go to the free website Photopea.com, and it is going to look like this. So now we're going to go to our saved PDF that we already sent to ourselves with either the Adobe Scan or our Notes app, and we're going to go to page 1, right click, convert to smart object, then we're going to right click, rasterize. We need to do the same thing with page 2, so we click on that and convert to smart object, right click again and rasterize. Now we have it rasterized. Now we need to get rid of all of these other parts. So we're going to go 3 down on the left to the magic wand, and I want to do page 1 first, so I have to make sure on the right I've clicked on page 1, and then I'm going to click on the white space where there's no drawing and just hit delete or backspace. Now it got rid of all that extra. I want to do it on page 2, so I have to click on page 2 on the right and then click in the white space. You can see there's a dotted line around everything. Backspace or delete. Now I've got my pieces. I need to save this as a PSD because it does not automatically save. If your computer dies or something, it's gone. So save it as a PSD, then you can open it again later and use it. Now we're going to make a new canvas. We're going to choose Instagram because we want it to be square, and we're going to call this Alien Layers GIF. And we are going to bump that up to 300 for the DPI. Make sure it's got a white background and hit create. So now we're here and we have our puzzle pieces over here. I am going to grab this spaceship. So I need to be on page 1 because it's on page 1, and I need to make a lasso around it. So the way I'm going to do that is go to the second tool that looks like a rectangle, and I'm going to long press and hit lasso select. Now I can see I already have this dotted line here, so it's not going to let me do what I need to do until I go to select, deselect. So if you have a dotted line around something you don't want, just go select, deselect. Now I've got my lasso, and I'm going to lasso this spaceship, and I'm going to hit Control C and then go to this one and hit Control V. Now it's on there. I need to change its size and change it around. So I'm going to go to the Move tool, this first top tool, and then make sure the box that says Transform Controls is chosen. Now I can turn it, I can shrink it. If I want to shrink it, I'm going to hold down Shift so it doesn't get stretched out. And then to turn it, if I go to the corner, my arrow turns curvy, and I can just do that. Now in the first video I showed you just how to move 1 layer, so if you want to see that or see a more slowed down version of these first instructions, you can see that. I'll put a link in the description. But here we want this to do something. We want another puzzle piece to go with it, so that's what I'm showing you. So we're going to go here and I'm going to choose something else, and I think I want the alien. So the alien's on page 2, so I have to make sure on the right I click to page 2, choose my lasso, and lasso around it, and then hit Control C for copy. Now I'm going to Control V, and again click on the Move tool on the top of the left, so I can shrink it to how I want it, and I can turn it however I would like. So now, since a GIF is an animation, if I want this alien to always be in the picture, it has to be in every step of the animation. So right here, I've got my ship and I've got my alien. Now, that means I've got 2 layers, and it might get confusing. So the first layer is the ship, and I'm going to call it ship so I remember. And then the second one is alien, so I'm going to call it alien. Now I need a copy of these. This is going to be my first step. I'm going to merge them in a minute, but I'm going to click on the first ship, hold down Shift, click on alien, and then right click and duplicate layer, or you can do Control J, which is what I do to keep it faster. So now I've got a second copy of those two things. If you look, I've got two of them. So what I'm going to do now is merge the first two because they are where I want them. So I'm going to click on the first alien and the first ship, right click, and down here at the bottom you see merge layers. That's turning that whole thing into one, and I'm going to call it step 1 so I know that it is the first step of my animation. Now I still have a separate ship and a separate alien. So now I have to decide what my ship is going to do, and I think it's going to come down a little bit closer to the alien. Now I want to save that as a merged layer, but before I do I need to copy it so I can use it again. So the ship copy is highlighted, hold down shift, highlight the alien copy, and then Control J. Now I have an extra copy. That means I can merge alien copy and ship copy, and that's going to be my step 2. It's important to label everything because it can get confusing, but now I've got still my separate ship copy and my separate alien. So I want to lower this ship down a little bit more, and then I want to merge them, but before I do I have to make a copy. So I can again either Control J or duplicate layer, and that's going to duplicate both of those. Now I'm ready to merge the last two I just did and call that step 3. So now I've got my next one, ship and alien. I'm going to bring that ship down. But you can see I really want the ship in front of the alien here, so I'm just going to drag that ship layer above it. And now you can see it looks like it's coming down on it. So now I'm going to duplicate those. So highlight, Control J, and then I can merge these two and call it step 4. Now I could have the tractor beam come down, I could do a lot more complicated things, which is really fun and you should definitely try it. But this is just to give you an idea of what to do with the different layers and how to merge them. So now I've got my alien and my ship. I'm going to do something a little tricky now. So I'm going to take the ship and lower it down a little bit more. But also I want to see the alien through the windows. So I'm going to go back to my magic wand. I'm going to click in the window, and that is going to highlight that one little area. If I hit backspace, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other window, that is going to let the alien be seen inside of it. Now I'm going to duplicate that with my Control J and then merge these two and turn that into step 5. So now I need the alien to kind of shrink a little bit to fit in there. So I'm going to go to my alien, choose the move tool at the top left, and hold down shift. Make him just a little smaller. And since I don't really want to make him too much smaller, let's see, I'm going to make him so he can peek out this window. I'm going to make him a little bit smaller. Since I don't want to make them too much smaller, I am going to do one more tricky thing, which is go to my erase tool about halfway down. It looks like this. If you don't see it, click around because it might be behind one of the other tools. But I'm going to erase his feet. So it looks like he's inside. That's just a little extra thing besides this. So now I've got my alien, but his little legs have been erased, so he looks like he fits in there. And I've got my ship. I actually don't care to have any more other layers. I'm just going to take the alien and the ship and let them fly away. So I'm actually just going to merge those two. So I'm going to take those and merge them and call it step 6. Now I do want to have it fly away. So I'm going to duplicate step 6 and move it up a little bit. We'll call that 7. Duplicate that again, move it up, step 8, duplicate, and then it goes away. So now I have it, I believe, how I would like it, and I want to animate it. And you can watch the other video to see a couple different ways to do it, but I'm going to show you the fastest way. Click on step 1 at the bottom, scroll up, hold down shift, and choose step 2 so they're all highlighted. Then you go to layer, all the way down to animation, make frames, and it's going to put an underscore a underscore in front of everything. So it should be animated now, and we are going to save it as a PSD. Make sure it's in the right folder so you can find it. Also, if you would like to, if you're using a Chromebook or you have limited storage, I'll just show you one quick little way to get it to your Google Drive. You can go File, Open More Storage, and then you can choose to save it on Google Drive there. I'm saving mine on my computer, so I just saved it, File, PSD. Now I'm going to try to export it. So in order to export it, to test and see if I like how my GIF is working, I go to Export as GIF. If it asks if I want to scale it, say okay. And look, it totally works. I love it. I could adjust the speed. I type in the percentage, but I actually love the speed, so I'm gonna keep it. I could boomerang it, reverse it, but I'm gonna save it just like it is. I'm gonna call it Alien Animated Layers. Make sure it goes to GIFs. And then in order to see it on a Mac, I go to my GIFs folder and I click on it and hit the space bar, and now I can see it working. I can email it, I can send it to people, I can do anything with it. It's a GIF now. So that's what you do with that, and that is how you make multiple layers. You can use as many layers as you want. You just want to keep in mind where you want all the layers to go and how you want to make it work. I am going to, and my students are going to, make a storyboard so you can have an idea of how to do it. You can have it be just a few frames, or you can have it be a whole bunch of frames. So there you have it. You now know how to do your own 2-layer GIF. It is fun, it's easy. Please let me know if you have any questions, and if you would like to practice with my drawing, I'm gonna put a link for that in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I love you.